Okay, sweet. Now we're recording this. So yeah, super stoked to have everybody here. Thrilled that you've joined Justin. Justin's in Hawaii, so it's like, what time is it there? 8 o'clock, Justin?
It is 8 o'clock. I was up at 5 today.
Oh, good for you. Now you're gonna be so fucked when you go back to Austin after though. Cool. I see people in Vancouver, Dubai, all that, Morocco, Nigeria, Argentina. We love London, places, people from all over. We love that. Italy right there. So yeah, on today's call, we're going to be doing a training on 10 winning split tests that will instantly make you more sales. So I did this as a presentation at the free mastermind I did in Vegas on July 9th with a little over 100 or so kind of copywriters and marketers. It was received really well. It's a lot of really cool stuff that works. What's neat is this stuff works for eComm, and it's also principles they're taking from DR, and it will work for long form stuff too. And so, yeah, you're gonna love it. Before we jump into the presentation, though, probably makes sense for Justin and I to introduce ourselves. We see more people coming in from India, Philippines, New Orleans, Serbia, Las Vegas. Chris Andre represent Vegas, Israel, DC, Cyprus, dope. But yeah, so I'll just sometimes Justin and I introduce each other. I'll just introduce myself. Justin, you can introduce yourself. It's okay. It's not bragging. It's just what we do. My name is Stefan. If you don't know me, I am a direct response copywriter and marketer, an entrepreneur. I started out in the space in 2011, kind of by accident, when I met my wife, Laura, at a poker table in Las Vegas, and found out heard about copywriting for the first time through her. After that, I bounced around, worked for countless clients and countless niches, writing copy, also doing sort of stuff like SEO and Facebook ads and building websites, all that kind of stuff. But copy was this constant for me. Around 2013, got a really good client that ended up helping to mentor me. Went on to write a bunch of the top offers for ClickBank. At one point, I had 8 of the 10 top offers on the first page of ClickBank in 2013, 2014. From there, I left and started my own health supplement company, which I scaled to $23 million in the second year. After that, kind of went back to, I ran an agency for a while, helping clients launch offers in tons of niches, a lot of long form direct response type stuff. 18 or 19, Justin and I started Copy. I think we talked about in 2018, launched in 2019 for Copy Accelerator, which is our mastermind and training program and community where we have both copywriters and offer owners and help them to scale their funnels on cold traffic. We are copy heavy, of course, as the name would imply, but we also do a lot of stuff around kind of conversion optimization, revenue optimization. And as we've evolved, we've really focused on we're not focused on, but we also do a lot of eComm type stuff these days as well, and other, just any way that you can acquire customers and scale, and then also get the most out of those customers. That's what we're focused on. So that I'm actively still writing. Just got a great win for a client who had a really strong control that already done a very healthy 7 figures, and got him from a 1.1% conversion rate up to about a 1.78% conversion rate, and growing. So beat their control about 63%. That just happened this week. Now they're hiring us for a couple more offers. I'm JVing in a supplement company right now that's already doing 60 million plus a year, and we have 2 new offers launching Friday, hoping to scale those to mid-9 figures or beyond. And I do a lot of entrepreneurial stuff, but the point is, love marketing. I'm actively doing stuff, working with clients, and that's really important to me because we want to be teaching people stuff that is working today, right now, not stuff that worked like 5 years ago but doesn't work now. So that's me, and I'll pass it over to the incomparable Justin Goff.
Nice. So yeah, I got started in online marketing in 2004. I was a sophomore in college at the time. I started doing affiliate marketing, mostly in the poker niche, promoting stuff like Party Poker, Poker Stars that were all kind of booming at the time. Struggled for my first 4, 5, 6 years. It took me about 6 years to get to the 6-figure mark. That was around 2010. I finally had an awakening where I was like a month away from being dead broke. Everything was falling apart in my business. I had a big copywriting client who fired me, which made up like 90% of my income. And I kind of just balls to the wall, tried to make an offer work. And I was like, I'm gonna make this thing work. I'm gonna make it work on Facebook ads. I'm gonna figure this out. And within about 3 months, everything kind of turned around for me. I made $103,000 in profit in 3 months off that offer, got it scaling on Facebook, was spending $5,000 a day. Didn't have the money at the time, so it was just everything was put on credit cards. But yeah, that is kind of how I got my start. That was kind of when things took off for me. Like Stefan, I also built a supplement company later. Mine got to $23 million in sales, and I eventually sold that in 2017 back to my partner, Alan. And since then, like Stefan, I've been really focused on Copy Accelerator and my daily emails and stuff like that. So I truly enjoy coaching. I truly enjoy teaching. I love seeing the transformations of the people that we help. Copywriters going from 9-to-5 jobs and now making 6 figures, or offer owners that we increase their AOV, or we take them from 6 figures to 7 figures, or 7 figures to 8 figures. That really kind of means everything to me. So that's kind of my main focus now, and what I'm passionate about.
Awesome. Yeah, it's and I love working with Justin, and I love that we both have that passion. We share it. We're you know, we're kind of different guys, as you can tell, like we like, which is good, right? I think the best thing is to be partnered in business with somebody who's not identical to you, and Justin and I are not identical, but we complement each other well, and we both do share this really important passion around impact and helping people, and really, you know, being a mentor, a trainer, a coach, a teacher, and a confidant to people. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then I'll open up the presentation for you all. We're going to go through these awesome split tests. So let me go to share my screen.
All right, Stefan, we should remember to do like we did last time. We took a selfie with everybody.
Oh yeah, that's
like
a good idea.
Halfway through the webinar. Last time, a bunch of people took them, tagged us on Instagram, and Stefan and I reposted a bunch of them. So we'll do about halfway through. We'll do that, and you guys can get a picture of us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. So, okay, I'm sharing my my screen. Let me go into presenter mode. Boom, there we go. Can everybody can see it? Let me make sure. Open the chat, make sure I can keep an eye on the chat. Perfect. Yep. All right, sweet. Awesome. So the title of this talk is 10 winning split tests that will instantly make you more sales, which is always good. And let's jump right in. So basically, you know, a lot of these are going to be very easy on-page optimizations that can be made to nearly any eComm funnel. But as you'll see, I got these from doing them to direct response funnels, like long form funnels. They apply to both. So I did this for a my live event, like that I did recently. So there's a lot of eComm people. So I kind of put eComm in it a bunch, and there are eComm wins here, but I promise you these are absolutely applicable to both. And I have the proof, right? They're focused on conversion optimization, revenue optimization, and then just copy optimization. So basically, like, you know, those are really the key elements, right? If you can increase the conversion rate, then that means your CPA, what you're paying to acquire a customer, goes down, right? So if I can double my conversion rate, I can usually lower my cost to acquire a customer. And then revenue optimization is great, because if I can make more money, if my AOV, average order value, is higher, then you know, that means I can spend more money to acquire customers, or I can make more profit. So, you know, if I'm spending $100, the most I can spend right now is $100 to acquire a customer, because my average order value, let's say, is $150, and I've got, you know, cost of goods and all that kind of stuff. But I can somehow then get my average order value from $150 to $200. Generally now I can spend an extra 20, 30, even maybe $40 to acquire customers, which means I can scale more and win. So as offer owners, right, that's why AOV is so important. And as copywriters and people who work with clients, that's why helping your offer owners to increase their average order value and optimize their revenue can be so valuable. And of course, one of the ways we do that is through copy. That's where copy optimization kind of goes into the whole mix too. That can make nice results. So here's a little bit of like cool little proof elements or whatever, right? This is from Tony Casadrinos, who some of you may know has an olive oil company. I basically talked to him during a training I did with my friend Amber Spears for one of her kind of private groups. And, you know, you can see where he had messaged me after. This was on 5/7/20, like, you know, awesome input, you know, making the tweaks over the next few days. Was like, great. And then just got the update about 2 months later. Hey, Stefan, just an update. That landing page is killing it. It's been sent out over 30 times. It's converting at 11%. This is what it did to our Shopify store. The proof is in the pudding. And what it do, he took a screenshot, or I took a photo from his phone of his computer, so it's a little blurry, but you can see his conversion rate went from 2.16% up to 10%. And then that week he was converting at like 14.99%. And that's using stuff like what I'm going to teach you in this presentation. Another one from Sam Hewitt, who a lot of the split test wins will come from him, but basically, he messaged me the 5 tests we did all won. The most significant test increased conversions by 0.9%. We'll share what that test is in here too. And actually got another email from Eric Ward recently about how it increased his opt-ins by 77%, his conversion rate by like something stupid like 45% or something really good like that. So the stuff really works. It's stuff that is actively helping people with, and that you can implement for yourself or your clients as well. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'll show you several split tests that I'll routinely give to clients, including a methodology that I use for deciding which test to implement first, which I think is helpful, right? Because you're kind of like, well, I've got so many split tests, which one do I actually implement first? And you'll get some little bonuses too. So the very first one is very deceptively simple, I would say, right? And that's to remove the buy now button from above the fold on eComm or on really any landing page, right? So even for a long form video sales letter, text sales letter, having the buy now button down lower really makes sense, but this also does apply to eComm as well. So here's an example for Sam Hewitt with his turmeric product. He had this bio-fermented turmeric. He had the buy now button right here, as you would have if you get to like the landing page, you see it. This is me putting a little X over it, like, hey, remove this. And I'll show you the rationale and how I sort of like told what I told to Sam during my write-up as I was going through his funnel, right? I actually said, strangely enough, I don't think this will win, which I was wrong about, by the way, but should still be tested. Reason why is because forcing people to scroll and learn more about the product may lead them to buy more bottles, may actually increase conversions. So the goals I had for this were 1, increase conversions, and 2, increase the AOV. Then I looked at how easy is it to run this test? Well, it's very easy. And how confident am I that it will succeed? And it was like about a 50% confidence level. So most of you on here know this, but some of you don't, right? It's the same reason why we don't show the buy now button on a 40-minute VSL until we get to the call to action or we share the price or whatever. Because we don't, if you get someone gets to a VSL and there's like a buy now button right away or the whole time, you may have to do it for Facebook or for compliance reasons or whatever it is. But generally they might click the VSL, but they might just click the button right away, or they'll watch a minute of it and click the button. So even though more people may make it to your checkout page, they're not educated, they're not aware of they don't understand the value of the product, they're not really fully sold on it, they don't know why they should buy more than 1 bottle of it, right? All this kind of stuff. So usually, almost always your conversion rates are actually lower, and your average order value, AOV, which is again average order value, is going to be lower too. So if that applies to long-form direct response, I'm like, it probably applies to eComm too.
So I just want to chime in here too. This one I feel like is very counterintuitive, even to really smart marketers, because especially in the eComm kind of niche or the kind of more like cleaner direct response kind of pages, they think that if you get rid of that button and you force them to read more, that they're not going to convert as much. But we've seen over and over again. I mean, I've done this test with, I would say probably at least 3 different clients on 3 different sales pages, and then including some of my own offers. And exactly what you said, the conversions go up and the AOV significantly goes up because you have a more bought in buyer. It's kind of like the difference between if your sales page is 2 pages long versus your sales page being 20 pages long. The one that's 20 pages long is going to do much better, simply because that person's gonna be much more bought in by the time they read everything.
Yeah, and this is something that even for the copywriters on the call too, some of you have heard the story with VShred, and I wrote Burn, which is one of their most successful VSLs, done, I don't know what, like 9 figures at this point. When I first wrote it for them and I got the data from Nick Daniel, it was like the very first, he was the CEO of VShred. At first it was like the conversion rates weren't looking that good compared to their control. And I was like really, worried about it. But one of the first things I asked them was like, okay, well, where are you showing the button, right? And they're like, oh, we're showing it after like 5 minutes. And this is VShred, who was already doing, I don't know, like 100 million a year at that point. But I was like, no, you gotta show it way later. And like Nick was very skeptical actually, right? And so I was like, all right, well, let's test it. And then Nick was like, okay, I'm down, because Nick loves to test stuff. So we basically did a bunch of tests where he showed the button at like right away, 4 minutes, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 33 minutes, so forth. and basically the one where that correlated with the price reveal, right? Revealing the price that they could get the actual get the product for, and the call to action. That's when that one won significantly. I think it was like 100% better conversion rate than originally. And then I also optimized the lead and stuff like that, which got it even better. But literally just that changing where the button was, like basically doubled conversions on the copy. So a good question for the copywriters out there to ask too, for clients, if you write something, or at least if not ask and double check and verify, like where are they showing and when are they showing the buy now button, right? So yeah, super important. And again, also note that even big people don't do this sometimes. So here's how it looked after removing the button. People keep asking about the fold. So again, the fold is like just above the fold is anything. If I just go to the page right away that I can see, like having to scroll is like above the fold. Anything I have to scroll for, to scroll down to is below the fold. That's the difference on the fold stuff. So anyway, this is one that got them a 0.9% increase in conversion rate. It's like a 90% increase just by basically removing that button because people were scrolling, and the AOV did go up as well. Okay. So this is number 2, rearranging the presentation of order options, right? This is one that definitely applies for both eComm and text sales letters, and when you show packages on VSLs, things like that. So the way they had this is they had 1 bottle here, 3 bottles here, and then 6 bottles here. But generally you want your customer to buy 6 bottles, right? They buy 6 bottles, you're going to make more money, your average order value goes up, all of that. But one thing I see a lot, and you do have to test it. Every now and then I hear somebody who says like, no, they're adamant that the medium package in the middle does best. But the vast majority of the time that I've done this, and I've done this for hundreds of millions of dollars of like worth of sales and offers I've generated that, including my own, is that putting the biggest package in the middle and really highlighting it is going to be your best bet, right? Because that's where people's eyes go. They go to the middle. Like if you want people, if your AOV is like low, then why, and you want people to buy a 6-bottle package, why would you not make that the most popular one or best value or really highlight that? But I see this all the time. It's something you can quickly and easily do for your own stuff or for your clients, and it can drastically improve the AOV. So, right, some notes I gave to Sam for this, right? If you haven't done this already, test putting 6 bottles in the middle and highlighting that as being most popular. Generally, people are more likely to buy the package in the middle. And the goals were, right, increase the average order value while maintaining close to the same conversion rate. Very easy to run the test. My confidence level was 75%. One thing I want to note here too, it's really important. When you're doing this, when you do that, check that the order of the bottles, check the order that the bottles are showing up, and this doesn't have to be bottles, it can be packages too, like platinum versus gold versus whatever, right? Like check the order on mobile, because usually what will happen is if you show 1 bottle on the left on a desktop page, then on mobile, that'll be the same thing, and that's bad. So going back to this real quick, right? Like usually people don't mobile optimize. So while, great, now they've got 6 bottles in the middle, when somebody's on their mobile phone and they're scrolling, the first thing they see is usually going to be the 1 bottle option, right? And then if that's all they can see on their phone, because your phone screen's like not that big, right? So if they see 1 bottle first, then they're usually just going to click on 1 bottle. So what you'll see happen all the time is people have a great, maybe average order value now on their desktop, but their mobile phone, they don't. Now they're like, why is my AOV so much lower? I guess mobile people, like people on mobile phones, don't want to buy as much of it. But realistically, it's because they're actually showing the smallest package first. So people are just seeing it and buying it. They're not going to scroll through to look at the other packages, right? Huge difference, like as far as AOV goes, by doing that. But I see a ton of people, honestly, probably 50-60% of the offers I see out there for mobile, they're showing the 1 bottle or the smallest package first. And that's crushing their AOV. It's such an easy fix that you can make. So yeah, cool. Test number 3 is just pricing, right? So one thing I told the Sam as well was that I look at raising the price of the 3-bottle package. I won't explain all this one. I'm not gonna read this whole slide, but let me go back to this one more time here. Because to me, look, again, I want people to buy the 6-bottle package, right? And testing pricing is just so important. Because if I'm at like $20.97 for 1 bottle, okay, $17.97 per bottle for 3 bottles, well, that's a decent drop, but there's only a $1 per bottle drop between 3 bottles and 6 bottles, then like, that's not really incentivizing me to take 6 bottles, right? So I would be testing something immediately where I raise the single bottle price up to $24 or even $29 and make this one something like, let's say that this is $24.97. I'd probably make this one $21.97, and then I'd make this one $16.97 or $15.97, or maybe even do 29, 24, 19 or something like that. I want the biggest savings and difference to be on the 6 bottles, and I want to really highlight, I want to really discourage people from taking a single bottle. Like we used to have a maxim of one of my health supplement companies was like hashtag no single bottles, because like we don't want people to buy a single bottle, right? So this is for anything like physical products, obviously, but generally I'm going to lose money every time somebody buys a single bottle, and maybe I'll get it back because they'll come back and reorder, or they'll buy stuff on my email list or whatever they're going to do. But realistically, it's a lot harder to actually make money when they're getting a single bottle versus 3 or 6 bottles. There's way more margin in there. So the pricing here to me is like a huge like screw up, right? Like why are we going from just a $1 drop? We should do a much different drop, right? Single bottle buyers checkout page conversion rates suck. John Choi mentioned. Totally, John. Completely agree.
One other thing,
Yeah,
Stefan, I want to emphasize, we're showing a lot of examples that are health and supplements, just mostly because that's where Stefan does a lot of his work. But this same thing I've used in survival niche. I've used it on a financial offer where it was a newsletter where they had a 1-year subscription, 2-year subscription. And I think there was like a 3-year or a lifetime, something like that. But these type of bundle offers work all the time. So there was like a survival food offer where there was like a 3-day survival food, a 2-week, and then a 1 month. So this type of thing can work really whatever you're doing. The olive oil example that Stefan shared has this type of thing. Any type of offer that people are gonna buy more of, you want to try to do a kind of like a 1-3-6 style multiple quantity offer.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for emphasizing that. It drives me crazy. I know it drives you crazy too, Justin. When people are like, oh, this is about health, so it doesn't relate to me. And it's like, dude, like literally you can apply these concepts to anything. I mean, we just did it for Mattia, who is in the Italian market. The offer that I did with Luke Mills that crushed their control by 63+%. We did an AOV money close for packages because he was doing basically, you could get like an 8-week sort of like program, or like double that length of that program, or do like a half year long program. And there's like different lengths for the program. Exact same thing here. And you're like basically telling them, hey, smart people buy more. In this case, smart people, go in the program for longer. You should go in the program for longer too. So information, coaching, any kind of category you can think of, you can apply this to that. So want to really, emphasize that. So cool. So that's what so the pricing one I told him about, we just went over that there. Test number 4. Innocent asked, this is applied to an ebook. That one applies only if there's like 2 different types. If there's like, get the book, or get the book plus get the, a physical copy of it, or book plus bonuses. I mean, you can structure it to definitely apply for ebooks as well, or for info products. Absolutely. AOV copy test. Some of you may have heard, who in this chat has heard of my kind of AOV money close before? If you have, me put something in the chat, like, yeah, I've heard of it. Sam Novak, Chris Sun, a couple of the Copy Accelerator people are saying, yeah, mostly, right, which makes sense. Some other people coming in. Yeah, cool. So some of you have, and then some of you haven't, which is totally cool. Sweet. So basically, like the AOV money close is essentially just saying like basically, hey, telling people to buy more, right? So for example, in long form, you're sort of like, say you have a 1-3-6 type package, right? For supplements, or you have a gold package and a platinum package, and the platinum package includes more and is more expensive. Like you're essentially just explicitly telling people to buy more. Like, hey, buy the biggest package. Smart people buy more. The best customers, people who have the best experience, they get the biggest package, and you're telling them to do that. So, in Copy Accelerator, RMBC, other places like that, I have pretty in-depth trainings on the AOV money close. But ultimately, it's really about just telling people repeatedly, you should get bigger packages, right? So this is for eComm specifically. Most people on eComm have sort of like their, some copy, and then here's their like called like their package options, and you've got your little buttons like, hey, buy now, right? But well, one thing I realized a little while ago, and other people are now doing this and having really nice success with it, is like we can tell people on an eComm page the same thing. Hey, buy more. We're not gonna make it this really long thing, but we can tell them, hey, smart people, buy more, buy the biggest package. So the copy I suggested, right, was go ahead and order your 6, 3, or 1 month supply of our bio-fermented turmeric by choosing one of the packages you see below. Our 6-month option is by far our most popular. The reason why is simple. Bio-fermented turmeric uses only the highest quality ingredients that are ethically sourced from across the world. As a result, there are often shortages of ingredients that put us at risk of running out of stock. Once our customers begin using bio-fermented turmeric and experience the difference in the way they look, feel, and move, they never want to be without this breakthrough. That's why they typically stock up on a multi-month supply. That way they can be protected from future out of stocks, right? Not even a ton of copy. You'll see how it looks on the next page here. But you're just, first of all, you're saying order your 6, 3, or 1 month supply. So we're not saying they have to order 6 months here, but we are putting 6 first. So they're already thinking, oh, should I order a 6-month supply, right? And we're telling them, it's most popular because people wanted to be part of like, they want to do what all the other smart people are doing. People want to be part of the crowd. They want to be, they don't want to be a pioneer with an arrow in their back, right? So if most people are getting the 6-month package, maybe I should get the 6-month package too. We're giving them a reason why. In this case, ingredients are ethically sourced from across the world. There can be shortages of ingredients that put us at risk of running out of stock. Super true, by the way, especially since COVID with shipping and fulfillment and all that kind of stuff. So, when we're not saying that, we will run out of stock, we're just saying we're at risk of being out of stock. And then we're talking about what happens, right? Customers who use the product, they experience the difference in the way they look, feel, and move. They don't want to be without the breakthrough. So that's why you should stock up. So really strong reason. By the way, the look, feel, and move, totally swiped that from Dan Ferrari and his original Genesis control that I ultimately kind of beat. But he had the whole like look, feel, and move. Like I just like that phrasing. So yeah. And so basically, right, increase the AOV, keep the same conversion rate, very easy to implement it. And I was very confident that that would increase the AOV. And so then the client did it. So now you can see, here it is, and then here are the bottles. So when you actually look at it, it's not like a ton of copy, right? It's not even a crazy amount of copy, but this increased the AOVs by, I forget what it was. It's like $20 or something just ridiculous, like just by putting this blurb of copy here. And it's something that now other people are doing in eComm too, which makes sense. It's very, very easy. You just pop something simple in like that. And again, if you were selling packages, right, like coaching programs, like that's why most people pick the 12-week coaching package and not the 4-week package, right? Because the longer I work with you, the more results we can get, the more of a breakthrough you can have. So, it just makes sense to get the 12-week package, or, the platinum package includes this, and this, and people who implement those things get the best results. So that's why really our most successful customers get the platinum package and why it's most popular. And of course I can, they also take advantage of the fact that, it's available because I do have limits on this. So there are times where I can't even make it available to the public, but right now I can. You should get the platinum package, but regardless, choose your package below. So it can be applied to anything. Take a breather for a second. Justin, do you want to add anything before I keep going?
No, man, you're on a roll. I'm gonna let you keep going.
Cool.
You want to stop and do a quick selfie now?
Yeah.
So we don't have to do it at the end. Yeah,
let's do it. Yeah, I just found out you may have missed it, but yeah, there are often ingredient shortages, especially again since COVID kind of happened or whatever. Let me stop sharing. There you go. Okay. So we'll do a quick selfie, but yeah, there's especially with supplements right now.
So last time we did this, it turned out great. A bunch of people took pictures with us, posted on Instagram, tagged me and Stefan, and we reposted them. So if you want to take a picture now with Stefan and I, grab your phone and just kind of put like the phone in the background, or put us in the background. You can take a selfie. We'll
if I'm small and Justin's big, let me see if I can switch to gallery for you guys here. Let's see. Does it make it better? Let's see. Is that good or weird now? One of us on top of the other. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I think it needs to be on gallery.
Yeah, so it's on gallery now. You can sort of be in the middle or figure it out. Should we, or side by side? Perfect. So we can. I want to point. I don't know if pointing which way I'm pointing.
Ooh. Oh, are we side by side?
Yeah, I think we're side by side. So I'll point this way. You point that way. I don't know. Nailing it. Yeah, if you wrong finger, other finger. That's right. Well, whatever. Anyway, hopefully you got some pictures on this with us here. But yeah, like if you feel free to throw us on Facebook, on Instagram, tag us. I'm at Stefan Georgi. Justin, I think you're just at Justin Goff, right?
It's J Goff
Oh, it's
on
Jay Goff.
Instagram.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah. We'd love to we'll reshare and stuff like that for those of you who tag us. So sweet. So that being said, let me continue onward here. Back to view and presenter view. And let me do the check-in too. I mean, is this so far? Are you all enjoying this? Are you getting value? Is there good stuff here? Want to make sure. Okay, awesome. Yeah, love seeing the chat kind of light up here with lots of hell yeah. Super value, very good. Let me make some tweaks. Perfect, Mary. Awesome. Fantastic. All right, sweet. Cool. We got lots more good stuff to go. Here is an important one that is often overlooked, and that is around not showing the total price on your packages. So I'm gonna show you an example of how not to do it. I got this from Kettle and Fire, which is a big bone broth company, and they have this is a page for like sort of like affiliates and driving traffic and stuff like that. So what you'll see, there's two things that I'm not crazy about. I mean, I great brand, love them and all that. But one is like this is like if you're scrolling and you see the packages, like they have a one, it's like a 122, but there's sort of like a weird, it's hard to tell the difference on the cartons here, 12 versus 20. And then I don't like this looking for a different flavor as sort of like another option. It feels very overwhelming to me when I get to this. Like I'm sort of like, I don't know. There's a lot of, I think that could really be optimized here, and I should probably reach out to them and tell them that because this page is still active. But one of the things they do is like, even though you're getting 12 cartons, right, they're showing the total price for each of these. And this is not the way I would recommend doing it. And you'll see why, or what I did instead. I mean, if you look at what Sam had or has, he is showing you the price per bottle, right, for 3 bottles or 6 bottles. And this is always the way I've done it as well. If you look at, this was a blood sugar supplement, like, right, I just pulled this one because I always have access to this funnel. Scaled it millions of dollars on Facebook as a compliant kind of blood sugar support offer. But right, I'm showing the 6-month supply, but it's $29 each. Also note though, right, for the 6-month supply, how it stands out. This was like my favorite. This is like the blueprint for anytime I'm doing a 136 or really a 163 is like, this really stands out. It's bigger than the others. It's the best seller. But again, we're showing the price per bottle, not the total price. Here's one for front of the pack, which is a pet supplement company that I just wrote a VSL for them that's doing really well. And one of my favorite VSLs I've ever wrote. I don't like the order necessarily the way they have it with the 631 here, but and I don't necessarily like the price differences. But even then, one thing that they're doing, which is good, is they are showing you the price per tub. And of course, you might say, oh, well, isn't that, are you being deceptive? Are we tricking customers? Are they going to get confused? And the answer is no for any of that, because on the next page, on the checkout page, this is where you can just show them what the total is. So right here, we have the total. It can be down at the bottom of here as well. So it's not that we're not trying to hide the total price from the customer. Rather, it's that when they're here and they're looking at making a buying decision, I want them thinking about, well, $29, that's, a lot less than $39. I'm gonna save more money, right? I save the most money of this package. I want them thinking about like the cost per bottle and how it's lower than at 1 or 3. I don't think about how the total price is higher. I want them thinking about how the cost per bottle is lower. Advocate Echo's thing, like, yeah. So because if I see the total price is like a sticker shock, right? I'm like, whoa. If I saw the total here was, I guess, about 174. So this was like $39 total, $174 total, or $115 total. And I'm like, $174. I don't want to spend that much money. That's a lot of money. Like, I don't know about that. I go, this one's only $39. I'll just get 1 bottle and try that out, right? Like, but if you're looking at the price per bottle, like, well, I want to save the most money. I'm going to save the most money with this package, right? John McDermott said, get them to commit to the sale before seeing the total price. Yeah, so let them commit, but also, they want to save the most money. So let them focus on the savings and not what the total is. And then once you get, to this page again, then you can be like, and we're still reminding them of the price per bottle first, but we'll show them the total so they can always, change it. So yeah, you would show them, you're still showing them the total price. But that's not what they're thinking about first. First, they're committing to the product. And if they commit to the 6 bottle package, for $29 each on the previous page, so when they get here, they're much more likely to keep it versus toggling to 3 or 1 bottles because they realize they're thinking about the savings and not the total price. Versus if they just sort of commit to the, they just see the price, and they're way less likely to go over being committed to 6 bottles. So with them committed to 6 bottles or 3 bottles by the time they get to the checkout page, because they're more likely to stick with that and to buy more, which in turn then increases our average order value, allows us to scale, gives us more profit, and all of that kind of good stuff. Justin, anything you want to add before I continue?
No, man. I mean, this is one thing too that I think a lot of people, it's such a small, easy change, yet it can have a huge difference in conversions.
Yeah, a lot of people still make you can test it. I'm sure like 1 out of 100 times, like it doesn't make a difference, but the vast majority of the time that we've ever done this for people, it's almost always made a really big difference on their average order value, and not negatively affected stuff. I do like having the option to change on this page. A lot of places won't give you the option to change packages. Personally, though, I really like having that because what I don't want to do is kill the sale. If they do change their mind, I don't want them to be like, well, fuck, and they try to hit the back button and something, we want to create as little friction for people as possible. It's like as soon as they hit the back button, now they're not on the checkout page anymore. So maybe they don't come back to the checkout page. Maybe something doesn't load properly. Maybe there's an error. Maybe they, go back to watching or reading the copy and then get distracted. I would much rather have them be on like, I'd rather let them just switch their option on this page. A lot of people don't do that. And I think that's generally a mistake. You can test it, but I want them to do this for all the reasons I just explained. I want them, here with 6 bottles selected ideally, but I don't want to make it so hard to change that they end up not buying anything. Okay. Test number 5. I'm looking at the chat. I can't answer all the questions, or I won't stay focused, my ADHD, but right. Dave said, just got a message from Tony Castellanos about how you helped his company. The landing page transformed our business within a quarter. That's dope. Love that. So this one for Sam had a really confusing guarantee, right? He was like, try our bio-fermented turmeric for 30 days. And if you're not happy with your product, you'll get your money back. It's that simple. There's absolutely no risk in giving turmeric a try. We wholeheartedly believe in the quality of our products and want to take all the risk off of you. Just contact us within 90 days if you're not satisfied. Applies to first bottle of order. Any remaining bottles are refunded on return. So anybody else confused reading this? Pretty sure, right? I don't know, the chat might be quiet, but there we go. Yeah. I'm like, wait, so is it 30 days or 90 days? And then wait, what part of this applies to the first bottle? I need to return other bottles. Like, right. Super confusing. It's a little thing here, but like just a note to check your guarantee, like copy, because you don't want you don't want to confuse people. Again, it's all about in the On War by Karl von Clausewitz, which is one of the most classic strategy books of all time on war, as would be guessed, right? This Prussian military dude. He talks about sort of like friction, and basically the guy who wins the war, the general who wins the war, is usually the one who can manage, but also reduce friction as much as possible, right? It's the same exact thing when we're working towards conversions on our funnels and our pages. It's like, we want to remove as much friction as possible. So not making people have to press the back button. That's something that creates friction. Not confusing people about the guarantee terms. That creates friction, right? We want the less friction you have between, standing between the prospect and the buy now button and them actually completing the transaction, the better it'll convert. So one simple way to look at what you're doing with optimization is that you want to reduce friction. Your job is to go in and reduce friction as much as possible. So basically I just told them to I would guarantee that was negatively affecting conversion significantly. I'm sure somebody's trying to call me on Facebook Messenger. Weird. Okay. And I rewrote it for them, right? Try our bio-fermented turmeric for 90 days. And if you're not happy with your product, you'll get your money back. It's that simple. There's absolutely no risk in giving turmeric a try. We wholeheartedly believe in the quality of our products and want to take all the risk off you. Just contact us within 90 days. If you're not satisfied, simply return your unused bottles and we'll immediately apply a refund to your account. So just simplified the crap out of it, right? So very simple. just like, implement that. And I was like, that's going to be like 85% confident. So the reason I'm doing these confidence things is because if I'm going through like, well, which tests should I run first? I'll go like, oh, what are the ones that I'm most confident on and that I think are very easy to run? And then I'll target those tests first versus the ones that I'm less confident on or that may be harder to run. Because I want to get the fastest, easiest wins I always can. So that's why I sort of have this stuff here. It's a little framework that helps me to do that. Okay, the other one, and this is one that some of you have heard us talk about before, is changing the guarantee length, right? So they had a 30-day guarantee, or maybe 90 days because it was confusing. We think 30 days, right? But one thing I told Sam was, one thing that can, to increase AOVs is to update your guarantee to be 180 days. Generally, people who refund do it within the first 30 days anyways, so changing the guarantee to 180 days is very unlikely to increase refunds. In fact, normally it will lower refunds because people won't feel like it's urgent. They decide on the product right away. And then the other benefit is that with the 180-day guarantee, people are more likely to order larger quantities since there's no risk. So this one is, we've done this time and time again for people, and it's increased conversions and average order value time and time and time and time again. So like basically, like, why does this make sense to you all? And let me explain a little more, right? If I'm telling people, hey, buy 6 bottles, which is a 6-month supply, buy a 6-month supply, right? And I'm hammering them on that, or I'm like, buy the the platinum package or the 12-week coaching package or whatever it is, I'm hammering them on that. But then my guarantee is only 30 days long. Then people are like, well, why am I going to buy, like, why should I get a 6-month package if I only have a month to decide if I like this or not? So that's number one. So it creates friction between what you want. It creates friction between, selling the biggest package and then, people being able to actually use the biggest package. So very, we want to be congruent with that. Number two, as mentioned, if people have 30 days to return something, they're much more likely to put a note on their calendar or write it down or get it and feel this urgency, like they need to use the product right away. If they aren't seeing like, benefits within the first couple of days, they're like, oh, I don't have much time, I need to get a refund. They're much more focused on the refund. If we're like, you have 6 months, you have 180 days, now they can take their time with the product. They feel less like urgency. And in turn, like that, it gives them the opportunity to get better results because, usually the longer you use a product, the better, it's going to be for them. And B, like, it's also going to, it just takes, by taking the pressure off them, they're honestly more likely to like end up not asking for a refund anyway. They'll kind of forget about it. And another thing is, it makes it a lot easier to save the sale too, because if somebody emails you or calls and says, hey, I want a refund, and you look and they bought the product like, 10 days ago, and you're like, okay, no problem. Why do you want a refund? They're like, well, I'm not sure if this is working. And you're like, all right, well, cool, no problem. We can absolutely do the refund today. But just so you know, you have 180 days, and we found that, the longer people, use this product or program or whatever it is, generally the better, their experience is. So, since you've got 6 months and you've only got your product like 10 days ago, do you want to just hang on to it and try it out for a couple more weeks and just call us back? Because there's no risk. We're happy to do the refund now, but you could also keep using it and you may end up finding that you have a better experience. Like a lot of people report that. Wouldn't you like to do that too? And people will often say, okay, sure. But of course, there's gonna be people who say, no, I just want my refund, and they're, like freaked out. But it's very easy to get people to say, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll actually won't get a refund now. So it can save refunds too, right? Which saves you a ton of money over time, and especially at scale. I remember when V-Shred, like, convincing them to do that, they were at like a 30-day, and then I think V-Shred does like a year guarantee now, or like a lifetime guarantee. But yeah, I usually go 180 as my standard. But I've pretty much never seen this not lead to a big improvement for people who are doing like a 30 or a 60-day right now. So big one to do. And so reasons why: increase conversions, increase AOV, reduce refunds. Very easy, very confident that it would work. And it does. Okay, this is a little one, but it's worth noting on, I do have a few examples, not from Sam's page in a minute too, but this was just like I have such clear examples. Like I was looking at the reviews on his page, right? And so he has all these really good reviews, but then they're from like 2018. And he had people buying more recently, but I think they had just sort of pinned some of the best reviews at some point, or been like, keep these pinned to the top because they were really good reviews. So they were like, let's pin these. But what happens to me as a consumer, if I go to the page from, in 2021, I see that all the reviews are from 2018. And this is true for an eComm thing or a VSL showing testimonials and reviews or whatever it is, if I see everything from the dates 2018, immediately that creates friction for me because I'm like, oh, has nobody bought this in 3 years? Like, well, I don't, is there a reason to stop being good? Are they still in business? What if I give them my credit card information, but the site's not actually active anymore? What if I buy this and they're not active? I give them my money and I can't get a refund and I never get the product. Right? It creates this big confusion and mystery that can so easily be changed just by realizing, just by showing up-to-date current reviews. And same thing with VSL. You may need to go in and edit VSLs if you're showing the screenshots of dates or a text sales letter. It seems like a little thing, but the average consumer doesn't know how stuff works because you might be like, well, but if they clicked on a Facebook ad and got to the page, then like obviously the company is still running traffic, but it's like that's not consumers. They don't know how Facebook ads work. For all they know, the ads are just running magically and because the company forgot to shut them off and like are going there. So such a little thing, but things like that, with an attention to detail and an eye for detail, can make a really big difference because you create less fear, uncertainty, and doubt for the prospect and make it more likely that they're going to buy. And that's basically, this blurb just kind of summarizes everything I just said. And we'll keep going here, but I'm gonna take a little water pause. We'll pause for a little water. Gotta stay hydrated. We got basically 2-ish more. So let's keep rocking. I wanna keep giving all the gold and the gems. This was a really little one, but makes sense, right? It was to remove free postage for the single bottle option. So originally, if you look at their page here, they had free postage for all 3 of them. Now you can still give the free postage for any of them, right? You might not want to deal with calculating shipping rates and all that kind of stuff, but I would rather remove it so people don't see it. Because again, any little thing I can do to encourage or motivate the consumer to buy 3 or 6 bottles or to select these, right? Versus, just selecting the single bottle, I'm going to do. So even something little like removing free postage, even though you offer it, can, help to push people to buy a 3 or 6 bottle package. I mean, honestly, thinking about this now, this is the first time I've had this thought, but another thing I would potentially do, and I'd love to test, and we'll probably do it with the new JV I'm a part of. I'd love to even do it where you don't even mention the guarantee here. So where it really just shows like the bottle and the price and add to cart. And then this one's got like the guarantee, free shipping, other stuff, like have all this stuff on these 2, but not have anything here, but just 1 bottle. So again, you can still offer the guarantee, but I want them to feel the least excited about.
Right, you're trying to make it as unattractive as possible.
Exactly. It's like, we want to make that as ugly as possible. So really simple to do that. Again, you test it because it's possible that that tanks your conversion rates or something like that. But definitely something that I think is, important to test. And same thing here, kind of just explained why I'm like, one thing is that they could actually, add shipping to the single bottle, which would make it more annoying. But as I mentioned, I was like, or you can just keep free shipping and just not mention it on the landing page when we show the options. And right, just sort of the same thing, goals, ease to run tests, confidence. This one's very, very specific to like, physical products that like food, drinks, beverages, powders, things like that. But one thing I noted to him that I think is worth pointing out for anyone who does health stuff or food stuff or, functional kind of beverages or whatever, is really highlighting the taste. Basically, if you looked at their page, it talked about the taste like once or twice through there. But if you honestly look at the product, it kind of reminds me of like a Robitussin bottle or like cough syrup or something like that. It doesn't look like it's going to be really that good tasting. So, and a question I can tell you from experience, consumers are always asking about greens powders, protein powders, like bone broth, and really any kind of thing that they're going to put in their mouth is like, they're really concerned about the taste. To me, it's funny because it's like, all right, whatever. If you think it's good for you, if you really think this is like a superfood that's really helping your body, then like, why do you care that much about unpleasant taste for like a few seconds? But consumers really care about it. So highlighting multiple times, like, and it tastes so good, right? It's so delicious. It tastes so good. You're going to love the taste, like no aftertaste, and the other thing, by describing how good it tastes, it can get people thinking about using it and tasting it and eating it. And then they're actually visualizing themselves using the product. And by doing that, they then become more likely to actually buy the product because they've already visualized themselves using the product, tasting it, all that kind of stuff, right? So a very little one here, but very important. Like let's, highlight the taste. Yeah, greens can be unpalatable. See, I like the taste of the algae ones, but I'm a weirdo, I think, too. All right, and here I think is the last test, which is to change up the headline, which is such a simple thing, but always such a needle mover. Here's one that I gave to Andy Nilo for Olatura, which is skincare. Andy's an awesome dude. Right, their current headline for their page was like, "Get the best skin of your life without leaving your house," which is like not a bad value proposition. They're very branded, clean eComm, all that kind of stuff. Without leaving your house. This was like during COVID, so it's like cool. You know, it has a promise, get your best skin of your life. It's not terrible, but I basically, told Andy that here's two other options for him to test, right? One was 100% natural ingredients to give you brighter, clearer, and smoother skin without leaving your house or spending a fortune on spa treatments, which is like similar to what they just said, right? But we're highlighting that they're natural ingredients and it's clean. Instead of just saying get the best skin, we're saying that this can help give you brighter, clearer, and smoother skin. So we're actually dimensionalizing it much more without leaving your house, fine, because it's COVID, but or spending a fortune on spa treatment. So hey, this can actually save you money too, right? So now there's a secondary promise, which is that you can actually save money. And we're equating our product to spa quality products. So it increases prestige for our product, right? So not even that much more stuff, but like significantly, better. And then the other option I gave was over 2,000 verified 5-star reviews. Enjoy 100% natural, made in the USA skincare ritual that's guaranteed to give you brighter, clearer, and smoother skin. So a little bit of different copy here. But the biggest thing I actually wanted to highlight was the over 2,000 verified 5-star reviews at the top, because anytime I've seen that happen, especially in eComm, it almost always wins and increases conversions a ton. So here's something that the landing page for a company called Joyride Harnesses. They used to be called Pug Life Harnesses. And what you can see here, this is what the page looks like today, I'm pretty sure. Our dog harnesses have over 35,000 5-star reviews, and they have a quote from a customer. But when I originally, they were a client for Tanner Larson and Matt Stafford, and they basically so the owner of this company is doing over 1,000 front ends per day. And I gave them some headline tests to do. And one of them was basically highlighting the reviews. I think at the time they had 18,000 reviews or 20,000 reviews or something like that. But now they're at 35,000. But basically just putting that thing where we highlighted the 5-star reviews at the top of the headline increased the conversion rates on this page by 10%, which on a lander that's doing over 1,000 sales per day, it's an extra 100 sales per day. Let's say the AOV is $50 for ease. It's probably higher than that, honestly, but let's just say 50. That's an extra $5,000 a day in revenue, an extra $150,000 per month, and whatever 150,000 times 12 is per year, right? Literally by just highlighting the reviews. So I think in an era like this, where social proof and things like that are becoming more and more popular, it's really important to do that. So yeah, this was Tony again, and I have questions, but Justin, I do have a few other quick things I want to bring into, but Justin, what do you want to throw some stuff in here real quick before we continue on? There's a few more important things to cover.
No, I can let you keep rolling, man. You're doing good.
All right, cool. So I know there's a lot of questions. I can't answer every single one of them here, but I will answer, I think I answered.
Well, one thing that stands out, a lot of the questions that come in the chat when we do these are people worried about stuff that doesn't matter whatsoever. So I would say the stuff that Stefan is teaching is stuff that works. So stop worrying about the little nitty gritty details and just understand the concept. That's really the big point of a lot of the stuff that we're teaching, because everybody likes to push back on what's being said and has all these questions about the little things that really don't matter. The concepts is really what matters, because you can continue to use those over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really strong and important point, Justin. Yeah, you see it all the time. I think it's people trying to create reasons to not test stuff or to feel uncomfortable or whatever. It's like just I mean, that the greatest thing ever about our industry is that we can get data so fast. We can deploy tests so quickly. We can see if we're right or wrong so quickly. It's like, testing is so easy to do these days. And so, just make an order of your prioritization based on how confident you are that it'll succeed, and by how easy it is to implement, go through and start implementing, and you can, you will get wins, right? It's almost impossible not to. And every now and then you stumble upon these wins that are just really big, and, it's amazing. So what's cool, I want to share with you guys real quick is if you like this talk and what I just presented, like I basically do one of these on crack during our Copy Accelerator live masterminds that we do twice a year. And the next one coming up is in Scottsdale, August 31st through September 2nd. So that being said, I'm actually gonna pop a link in here to the sales letter for Copy Accelerator. So when I do them in at our live events too, like I always go and source other split test wins from members of our community and all kinds of different niches and categories. You get just crazy stuff that is so awesome. All the cool wins we have. We do ones on Facebook ads, like YouTube ads, emails, like webinar funnels, like everything you can imagine. We will, like, I have split test wins for all of that. I'm doing the JV with the supplement company. We're going to be testing a ton of stuff. And so, like I'll be sharing wins there. It's just really badass. So I saw some people in chat already saying that they're going to be there.
Yeah, I would say pop something in the chat right now if you're coming to the event that we're holding in August. I'm curious to see. Chris Stutton said he's going to be there. Anita says coming. Will, Rick. Oh, they're going fast now. Mary
Yeah,
says,
awesome. See a lot of people saying, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, we're going to have like Jake. Yeah, I see 200. So Michelle is asking for the full address. It's at the it's like the Scottsdale Resort at McCormick Ranch. So
if you already registered, just email Blake.
Just
He
email
can
us.
get you all that.
Yeah, August 31st through September 2nd. So I mean, really, it's like what we just did here, but like 2.5+ days, plus incredible networking. We're in person and virtual, which is awesome. So if you can't, attend it in person, you can still buy a ticket and come virtually. You'll go to see all of the content, the trainings, we'll have the kind of networking sessions, things like that. We're bringing together people, like a super team of amazing marketers. Like I'll share my screen for a second and show you the sales letter that I, just put a link into in the chat as well. But, like basically, Justin and I are doing a talk on, well, Justin, you're doing the finding your customers crack talk, which is awesome. The thing we got from Connor Boylan is basically finding for any niche or category, what's your customer's crack? What's the one thing they're going to buy again and again and again, no matter what? How do you find it? How do you deploy it into your sales copy, into your offers, into your funnels? It's going to be really awesome. We have it right here, the split test wins, right? I do this every single time. It's one of the most popular talks because I'm sharing in the trenches what's working now, every single category. We do 2 different open bar parties. We do an opening night cocktail and networking party where you can just meet and rub shoulders with other copywriters, offer owners, marketers, media buyers, affiliates, you name it. Everyone's together. We're drinking, we're chatting, we're having fun. Everyone I talk to at the party the first night, I come up and I say, hey, what's the number one, thing that you are trying to get out of this event? What's the thing that will make, you being here worthwhile? And if you're virtual, we'll go into the virtual room and talk to you there too. But once people tell me that, then I try to just resolve it for them as fast as possible. So if somebody's like, I need traffic, or I need clients, or I need this, or I want to meet this person, at the party, we'll just take people and connect them together. Because I'm like, well, if I can get you a win on the first night, then, now I'm playing with house money for the rest of the event, and you can just keep getting more and more wins. Your ROI can be insane. We do a farewell party the last night too, which is awesome. We do matchmaking sessions where we match offer owners and copywriters and freelancers, together, which creates like millions of dollars of JVs and new jobs and opportunities like over the last couple of years. And then we've got an amazing panel. We've got Dan Ferrari, who I referenced earlier, Saba Karimi, who's a beast at both eComm and long form. She's working for V-Shred now. She's working on Russell Brunson's team. She's sold over $100 million worth of stuff. Chris Haddad, probably the best emotional kind of storytelling copywriter on the planet. Ian Stanley is going to come in and do email marketing. Rich Sheffrin, who has been basically generating, I don't know what, several $100 million worth of sales. Total OG. It's funny. I put this in the email as a PS. But I was like reading Ready, Fire, Aim, which is one of the best, books about scaling a business ever written by like Michael Masterson, right? And aka John Ford, right? But basically, it's like I'm on page like 8 or 7 of it, and he's like, so I called him Rich Sheffrin, and Rich gave me this advice, and it worked really well. I'm like, that's crazy. This is like the Bible for scaling an offer, especially in direct response. And he's literally talking about Rich Sheffrin and how amazing Rich Sheffrin is. And then I'm like, Rich Sheffrin's going to be at our event talking about upsells and his mystery box upsell that gets a 50% plus conversion rate without telling the prospect what you're even selling them. You basically tell them to just give you money without even telling them what it is. So there's a really cool way he does it. Josh Snow, if you're into eComm, done 9 figures with Snow teeth whitening, wildly connected on influencers. And we have a special guest from Golden Hippo who she is one of their top copywriters, badass genius, written a bunch of their best offers. She's like, they're compliant, they're white hat. She's a killer. Really excited. We're keeping her a mystery for some suspense, but you're gonna love her talk too. And
Yeah, I would say that one is really, Golden Hippo keeps everything really tight to the vest. They don't really share what's working with them. They don't, Craig doesn't speak at a lot of events talking about what's working. So having someone from Golden Hippo that's going to actually share what's working for Golden Hippo at this event is a pretty special thing we got.
That's actually a really good point, because when I texted Craig about it, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I just gotta, think about like what we're gonna share, because basically anything we share, we know we'll get ripped off. But then he basically was like, whatever, we're just gonna share a bunch of like, I'll let her share a ton of like really good stuff. But like, he basically knows that they're gonna get ripped off, right? But that's why they normally they won't even, they don't do that. Craig doesn't talk about like tactical stuff. They don't have their team going. It's actually very, very hard to get somebody from Golden Hippo. So they're going to come and actually share like stuff that's working for Golden Hippo. I mean, it's badass. Really excited about it. And then the other really cool part. So to buy a ticket, you just basically scroll down on this page. You can do it with me. Follow along right now if you don't have a ticket already, right? You scroll down all the way until we get to the apply button. And down here, almost there. Look at this. You can read all about it on that page. We've linked it a couple of times. Look at that. No buy button early for us, right? Keep going. So basically, like, you click this button to apply. You set up a phone call with Blake from our team. If you have come to one of our events in the past, then you don't have to reapply. You can just buy a ticket. Here's the link to do that on the page. But you set up a phone call with Blake, talk with him. He'll walk you through everything, make sure that's a good fit, and if so, you can buy a ticket. And what's really cool too, for in-person, we used to charge, I think we did $29.50 for our last in-person that was in Vegas before we went to virtual. But for this one, it's $14.50. So it's significantly less, about half of what we used to charge for our live events. And as far as if you qualify, people always get kind of nervous. It's like, you probably qualify. Like, it's not about where you're at. We actually love beginners. We love people who are early on coming. We love people with imposter syndrome. We love people who are making a leap and it's a big step for them. Like, we have open arms, and like those people always thrive because all of the more experienced marketers are just so pumped about that and trying to help them to get wins as fast as possible. And of course, there's a lot of really high level people too. So for high level folks, we're sharing amazing tactical stuff, all that kind of stuff too. But it's not about like, if you're good enough or like experienced enough. We basically just want to make sure that you're not an asshole, right? Are you a cool person? Are you someone that we're going to like to be with, all that? And if you are, then, almost always you're good to get a ticket. So don't be scared by the application process. Just don't be an asshole and you're good. One more important thing to share for those of you who may not know this is, when you buy a ticket, you get to go into Copy Accelerator and Copy Accelerator Lite, our mastermind. Basically, you're added to the mastermind leading up to the event. So that means you get access to the weekly training calls that Justin and I do, plus a ton of other stuff. If I'm in here right now, so just yesterday, we had our weekly training call where Justin and I broke down a BizOps type of offer that had already they're scaling, doing hundreds of sales a day. We broke it down in depth. Way more than 21 people went. Those are just people who RSVP'd here. We had like 70 or 80 people on the call. But if I go back to upcoming, you can see all the other stuff we do. We have a weekly call for Facebook ads, scaling cold traffic and compliance, where people are able to have like their copy reviewed for Facebook compliance, talk about how to scale on Facebook. We have 2 weekly copy review calls where you can bring your copy to the call and have it reviewed by world-class copywriters. So like Saba Karimi does one, and Mike Abramoff does one as well. You can see Mike right here. Those are every single week. You bring your copy, and Saba or Mike, depending on which call you go to, and you can go to both, we'll look at it with you, give you feedback, help to point you in the right direction, all that kind of stuff. Every single week, 2 world-class copywriters are actually giving you that feedback. We have, again, our Tuesday calls. We do bonus calls like mindset. We have a mindset call next Wednesday. We do mindset calls every other week on average. We do weekly calls for business owners, and we have the business of freelancing calls with Brian Sparinello, which are amazing. So Brian is an excellent freelancer, consummate professional. And on these calls, he helps people with proposals, charging more, figuring out how to get responses from prospective clients, how to get more clients in general, all that stuff for an hour and a half plus. an hour to 2 hours, let's say, Brian is on there with you, helping you to get, more clients and grow your freelancing business. It's an incredible opportunity. You get all of this when you buy your ticket to the event, which is already insane for $14.50. The event itself is awesome, but you get all of this stuff included. And I think starting August 4th, Brian is going to be doing a series of weekly calls about how to get clients at live events. So he did this before the one in the last event we did that was like virtual, and people said that it really helped them with getting clients. A lot of people ended up getting several high-paying clients at that event because he'll actually tell you all the strategies, what to do, the approach to take. He's going to literally be training the copywriters and who are looking for clients. He'll literally be spending 4 weeks training you on how to get clients at the upcoming event and get an ROI on your ticket. And people always get ROIs on their tickets. It's insane. So, in addition to all of that, you get the library of all of the previous video trainings too. So you can see the most recent calls and most important videos.
All the previous events too.
Previous events, yeah, which is like now multiple previous events with like Jada Bull, Nick Daniel, Jordan Hall, like his talk was amazing. James Van Elswick, I mean, literally like Emily Lark, Amber Spears, panels of Kim Schlam, like just and other people. Like it's insane. All of this you get with your ticket, and you get to be into it all the way up until after the event. So if you get a ticket now, then you've got longer. If you wait until mid-August, totally cool. We still want you to buy a ticket in mid-August. The event itself, independent of this, will pay for itself many times over. The ROI is insane, but obviously you can get even more incredible value and really maximize your investment the earlier that you get a ticket, which is why we're doing great on our ticket sales too. I think we're at like 80 or 90 plus people already, in addition to like our hundreds of Copy Accelerator members. Yeah,
I would also just note that we are going to run out of room and sell out. The previous 2 live events, we had to stop selling tickets because we literally just didn't have any more room. So the same thing is going to happen this time. We've already sold more tickets at this point than we had in previous events. So if you're thinking I'm just going to wait till like a week before, I would highly recommend not doing that, because this is not even just like some scarcity thing to get you to buy a ticket. We are going to sell out, and there's not like a bigger room we can upgrade to. So yeah, that's just kind of the reality of the situation right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, normally, honestly, like we'd be just starting to promote the event around now, maybe even like a week later, but we wanted to start early because of coming back to live events post-COVID. We know there are other events and things going on. And those are awesome too, although there's truly nothing like our events. They are best in class. I promise you. I go to so many different events, and like what we do is just top-notch everything. We're feeding you. You're getting, we're giving you booze, but we're giving you so much value, so much tactical stuff, and you're building relationships that will last a lifetime. But yeah, so actually where we're at with ticket sales is like extremely good. It's pacing way better than our previous events, which always had 130, 150 plus people come. But to Justin's point, because we're back to physical, we're in virtual, but for physical, we're going to run out of room, right? And then on virtual, again, that's an option. And it's a cool option. Like, we will make sure that you get your ROI on virtual, but we would love you to be there physically if you can, of course. As far as networking, introductions, things like that go, if you attend virtually, we're going to create some different like hangout rooms, meetups. We'll be having people who are messaging you, finding out like, hey, what are you looking for? What do you need to do to get an ROI here? We'll make sure to be in touch. You'll basically have your own sort of like advocate liaison person who is reaching out to you to make sure that you are getting what you need if you attend virtually as well. So we're definitely taking care of that. But yeah, if you just look through, I mean, this is like if we ever sell this, like if we ever close down Copy Accelerator and decide to sell all of this content, I don't know how we would do it, Justin, because I feel like we would need to charge like $100,000 or more for all the content. And because it's not just content, it's like fucking, this is working now. It's constantly, this is all stuff that works. I mean, the value is like millions of dollars. So I don't know how we could ever, even do that. So hopefully we just keep Copy Accelerator going forever.
One thing I want to mention so the event is very targeted towards offer owners, copywriters, and media buyers. Those are the main people that attend. If you're a copywriter, this is the best place to come to get clients. All the people that are in the room that are offer owners, we do 2 different sessions where they actually stand up and talk about what they're looking to hire. There's usually anywhere from, I would say, 25 to 35 business owners that are looking to hire at the event. So very good chance that you're going to walk out of there with a gig or multiple gigs. Most people left the Las Vegas event with multiple gigs. So you're going to get to meet those people, get to talk to them in person, which is really tough to do for a lot of these business owners because most of them are super busy. So the fact that you get their undivided attention in this room for 2.5 days is really big. And one other thing for people who are kind of newer or you're still kind of up and coming, being in the room with people who are copywriters who are making 40 grand a month as a copywriter, with offer owners who have 10, 50, $100 million businesses, and you sitting at the same tables as them will completely change what you think is possible. This is one of those things Stefan and I actually really don't talk about a lot, but we hear it over and over again from people who come to the events, that they came in thinking, oh, if I could do this, if I could just make like 3 grand a month as a copywriter, I'd be set. And they come out of there thinking, holy shit, I could make 10 grand a month, or I could make 20, or I could make 30. I sat next to this guy who's making 45 grand a month as a copywriter. And like the reality of what's possible completely changes simply from being around the people that are doing stuff at a high level. So highly recommend, if you need to kind of level up your thinking of what's possible, this is kind of the perfect event to do that.
Yeah, that's a great point. We hear that so many times that like my entire mindset of what's possible change. I mean, Troy Erickson, right? He's doing 6 figures a month in profit now. It's like he came to the event in Vegas in 2020 before COVID, and he was making like $5,000 a month. I think he never made more than 10,000 a month. And then, it was 20 and 30,000, and now he's like literally makes over 100,000 a month. But like, it happens because of your eyes being open to what's possible. Because there's so much limiting stuff. Like, well, not me, right? And it's fine if you're early on and you've got milestones and steps. We're not saying, hey, you've never made money, like, you're going to come and magically start making 10, 20, 30, 50, 100,000 a month. Like, right. It can take time, but you accelerate that process by going to events like this. You get better. And you'll realize that it's possible. And just like that belief factor is huge, right? Rebecca, even said, I was working at factory last year. Now I'm making over 10K a month as a copywriter. I love that. Krista Edsel was a server, at like a dog, like park/bar. She was like a bartender there, like a year and a half ago, and she just closed on a house because of the copy, like making money from copywriting, right? Like Michael Roisin was working in a call center. Now he makes, over 10,000 a month. I mean, we have so many of these stories. And then we have offer owners. Connor Boylan launched an offer, went from a copywriter to an offer owner, and now he does, 6 figures plus a month. Troy Erickson, same thing. And then you've got people like Steve Gunn, who came to the event in Vegas, hadn't launched his Tommy Chung offer yet, and then basically launched it and it's grossed over $20 million in the last year. Everything else has changed, right? And you do get ROI. I mean, I got this message from Sava on my phone. Basically, he messaged me a few days ago and said, the CA event ticket just paid for itself. Saw someone sharing dating niche swipes recently, checked out the offers, reached out yesterday to the owner whose offer I dig most, closed amount of projects today. And we always see that. The people who are proactive when they join, like Grant Poulsen, bought a ticket to the last virtual event, showed up at webinars like this, was in the chat, was at the event, all that kind of stuff. And then now he's working with Scott Phillips, and like Scott wants to make him potentially CEO of his company over the next 2 years. And he's managing a bunch of stuff for Mike Geary and Ed Scow. So again, all of this is going on for $14.50 for your ticket. Once you're there, we're basically taking care of everything, not hotel rooms, but like, food, drinks, stuff like that. Lunch at least. And but then you get this members area. It's just a game changer, right? I know Anita's saying, the membership site alone is worth it. Plus the event, it's massive, right? It's just crazy. So last thing I want to share real quick, you do get access to the various Facebook groups. So we've got Copy Accelerator Light and Full. And in here, like with Light, you've got people sharing stuff about like, hey, like here's what happened. You can ask questions, the community helps you. It's like a very high level group of people helping each other. And you'll just see it's super active, right? Like people are sharing resources with each other. This is from 1 hour ago. This is like one that still got comments coming as of 5 minutes ago. Reminders of the calls coming up with Mike Abramoff, people introducing themselves. Like honestly, she's like a researcher and introduced herself. And I was already like, hey, I'm down to hire you. Cause like, I'm like, this is great. Right. People introducing themselves in here. Here's another, looking for a TSL to VSL copywriter, someone looking for help, trying to hire people, right? Like there's just constant stuff. So you get access to that, and you get access to the full Copy Accelerator group too, which is sort of a similar thing. Plus, and for full members, Justin and I, which is full, is pretty much usually full. You can't like just join that willy-nilly. But we actually give live feedback to people in that group too. So if I go back to That's too much stuff going on here. There you go. Copy Accelerator, right? Oh, by the way, we also post these PDF breakdowns of all of our calls for the Tuesday training calls if you can't make them. But you'll see people posting, asking for advice from Justin and I. Saba comes into, people are sharing strategies. But you also see that Justin and I come in and we give people notes and stuff. I'll shoot a lot of Loom videos as well. But yeah, you'll just see basically, you won't see me. Here's a Loom video here, right? Here's another Loom video. So if you want to watch me literally reviewing people's copy and saying like, hey, here's what I would change. I mean, sometimes the videos are 5-10 minutes long. I'm going through like their entire sales letter and all pauses and going through it. But you want to see like literally watch a copy coach or a copy chief who's one of the best copywriters in the world going through some of the best marketers in the world's copy and telling them what to change, fix, improve, pointing stuff out. You want to get better. That's a way to get way better, way faster. And as an offer owner to go in and do the same thing. So I'm going to stop talking in a moment, but we would really love to see you. So again, all you do is you go to the sales letter for the event, you scroll down, you can read it, learn about it, apply for a call. Even if you don't, if you're 50-50, do it. Blake, who does our sales, he's been our team since the beginning. He's an Aussie. He won't bite you. He doesn't like hard sell you. He's not like, we even have a tab for sometimes for people where we look at them and we're like, oh, you know what, this person's just not ready for it, right? So if that's you, we'll tell you. But most of the time, it is good. And Visnu said any possible chance the event would have payment options for those who want to attend virtually. Talk to Blake. I mean, really, honestly, if you're in doubt, like, or you have questions about this stuff, just apply, talk to Blake. There's flexibility. There's things going on, stuff like that. So the best thing to do is just apply and have the conversation with Blake. And then if we can, if it's a good fit, we'd love to have you. If not, you got to talk to Blake and you learned a little more. You'll probably get some value from it. But we're flexible. We're not going to lower the price, but if you need us, if there's a special circumstance, like we want you there because we know that this event and the Copy Accelerator program and the trainings, all the stuff you're getting leading up to the event, that it truly can change your life, that truly can be a massive impact. And that's what we want for you. We want to create that massive impact for you and get you that ROI. And we know we can do it. So when in doubt, just ask. And with that, I'll stop. Justin, anything else you want to add before we wrap up here?
No, if you guys have any questions specifically about the event, feel free to pop them in the chat right now. We'll answer those for about 5 minutes and then we'll wrap up for the day.
Yeah. And if no questions, because I just covered it all by verbally vomiting on you all for like 15+ minutes, then that's good too.
Cool. So I just posted the link again. Highlight, like Stefan said, I highly recommend just apply for a seat if you have any interest and talk to Blake. Hope you guys got a lot out of this call. Hope you got some nuggets you can take away to work on either your own offers or clients' offers. That's kind of why we do these, to teach you guys stuff that you can use and implement, and hopefully you can make some money with it and you will trust us to come to our event then.
Yeah, we would love that. And again, thank you. I'm glad that you all got the value. I mean, I hope you see, right? We're all about over delivering and like, we'll over deliver. Like, yeah, of course, we're gonna tell you about our event at the end of things like this, and it's important. We want you to come, but we always want to give you a lot of value first. And if you thought this was valuable, I mean, yeah, the event, the trainings, everything we do in Copy Accelerator, it's just constant over delivering. So, would love to have you there and can't wait for it. And for all the people already coming, can't wait to see you at it too and to meet you in person or virtually if you're virtual. But yeah, thanks so much, Cheyenne. Looking forward to attending lots more of these. Awesome. Yeah. Fang, can't wait. So Sam Novak, love you. Thanks for always being on these calls too. And that will see everyone soon. Thank you all.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.